President Sisi offers condolences to Indian Prime Minister and condemns terrorism following Kashmir attack. Egypt and Italy discuss Gaza ceasefire and humanitarian aid. And Egypt condemns terrorist attack on tourists in India's Kashmir. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi expressed his sincere condolences to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Indian government, offering Egypt's solidarity with the families of the victims of the terrorist attack that targeted tourists in Kashmir. President Sisi emphasized Egypt's condemnation of all forms of terrorism and highlighted Egypt's efforts to combat terrorism and extremist ideologies through a comprehensive approach that considers all aspects related to this phenomenon. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Mohammed Shenawi added that the conversation also focused on the importance of intensifying high-level communication to explore new avenues for cooperation that would fulfill the aspiration of both nations for progress and prosperity. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has met with the Italian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Antonio Tajani alongside Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati. The discussions focused on enhancing cooperation in economic, trade, energy and food security sectors, addressing illegal migration and Egypt's mediation efforts regarding the Gaza situation and broader regional stability. Tajani conveyed greetings from Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, emphasizing her commitment to strengthening bilateral relations, which President Sisi appreciated, highlighting the close ties between Egypt and Italy. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has welcomed a Kuwaiti investment delegation led by the head of the Kuwaiti side in the Egyptian-Kuwaiti Cooperation Council, Mohammed Jassim al-Saqr, in presence of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and other officials. al-Sisi expressed pride in the strong ties between Egypt and Kuwait, highlighting the need for enhanced collaboration amidst global challenges. The Kuwaiti delegation conveyed support for Egypt, recalling Kuwait's historical reliance on Egyptian assistance. The discussions included investment opportunities and the potential for greater Kuwaiti participation in Egypt's economy. And now we move to President Trump and his Norwegian counterparts in a live broadcast.
He's always been an ally. They've been somebody we've been very close to, very friendly with. Maybe more so now with me than other people, but I think Norway's always been a great ally, yeah. Norway's been a friend.
That's a very strange question, actually, because the U.S. is our lead ally, and we build on a relationship which we will talk about now, Mr. President. But yeah, it's of high relevance, and I'm very happy that we have Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. Right. So this is a very strong tie.
But it was a question about ally in the tariff situation specifically.
Tariff situation?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's we're talking about a little bit different subject. Then we're talking about a different type of ally. No, in this case, he would be very much inclined to be an ally of Norway because he wants to make the best business deal possible. And Norway and the Norwegians are great business people. They're great traders. They're great, very smart nation, very well-managed nation, has been for a long time, and in particular now with this leadership. But we'll be talking about trade and other things, and I think we're going to come to a conclusion very quickly.
Mr. Prime Minister, I was wondering whether you think that Donald Trump, for his effort in Ukraine and otherwise, deserves to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, I salute President Trump for having been taking very important initiatives to get this conflict towards an end, which both parties deserve. We need to have a ceasefire, save lives, move towards something which is more secure for Europe, for the people concerned. And on that we work together. And I look forward to go into some details, because we are at a critical moment. On that price, that is a committee taking care of that, which is completely working on its own terms, and I cannot comment on that.
Mr. President.
But thank you very much for that question. I like that question. Yeah, please.
A question on China. Can you clarify with whom the U.S. is speaking with China? They're saying it's fake news that trade talks are happening.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China. And so I think you have, Jeff, as usual, I think you have your reporting wrong. Thank you very much. We'll see you. We'll see you inside. Thank you.
Thank you, press. Thank you. Everybody else. Thank you. Thank you. Keep moving. Keep moving. Thank you. You're out. Thank you.
I would go. We'll all go together to Norway. I want to go skiing. I love Norway. I love Norway.
Why?
It's beautiful. And beautiful people. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so thank you.
Well, that was a live broadcast to a joint meeting between President Trump and the Norwegian Prime Minister, illustrating more on the U.S. plans on the Russia-Ukraine talks. Back to our news bulletin, and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has laid a wreath at the memorial for the armed forces martyrs in Nasser City, commemorating the 43rd anniversary of the liberation of Sinai. President Sisi was welcomed by Chief of Staff General Abdelmajid Sakr and other senior officials. The presidential spokesperson also stated that President Sisi visited the grave of former President Anwar Sadat, where he laid another wreath and recited prayers in honor of Sadat's noble spirit. Egypt has strongly condemned the terrorist attack that targeted tourists in Kashmir from various countries, resulting in dozens of civilian casualties and injuries. In a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt, its government and people expressed sincere condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the government and people of India, as well as to the families of the victims. Egypt affirmed its solidarity with India in confronting all forms of violence and terrorism aimed at undermining the country's security and stability. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has emphasized Italy's full support for the Arab plan to rebuild Gaza. That came during a press conference with his Italian counterpart Antonio Tajani, where Abdulati highlighted Italy's unwavering backing of Egypt's efforts to achieve a ceasefire in the region and underscored the importance of allowing humanitarian aid to reach Gaza. The Egyptian Foreign Minister reiterated the necessity of a political framework that leads to the establishment of a Palestinian state, which he believes is essential for regional security and stability. Italy's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Antonio Tajani has expressed his country's full support for Egypt's mediation efforts aimed at achieving a ceasefire in Gaza. Speaking alongside Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati in Cairo, Tajani stated that Italy is prepared to exert maximum efforts to halt the violence. He highlighted ongoing initiatives to rebuild Gaza and attain peace, while also emphasizing Italy's commitment to ensuring Palestine is recognized as a state. Tajani warned that escalating tensions in the Red Sea are causing significant losses for regional countries. Egypt has reaffirmed its pivotal role in ensuring regional and international air navigation security during the International Civil Aviation Security Summit. Egyptian Civil Aviation Minister Sema Hifni stated that Egypt's geographical location and the numerous air routes crossing its skies enhances its responsibility for safeguarding air traffic. He highlighted the development of a national aviation security framework aligned with the ICAO standards, showcasing Egyptian airports as models of advanced security systems. Hifni emphasized the summit's importance for sharing insights and strengthening collaborative capabilities against future threats. Cairo has urged Egyptian Umrah pilgrims in Saudi Arabia to comply with the departure regulations and leave by April 29th to avoid legal consequences before the 2025 Hajj season. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs emphasized that Umrah pilgrims who do not exit the kingdom by this deadline will face significant penalties imposed by Saudi authorities. These include a fine of 50,000 Saudi riyals, approximately £680,000, and a potential 6-month imprisonment under Saudi law, in addition to extradition to their home countries. Additionally, visitors are prohibited from entering Mecca from April 23rd to June 11th, including those residing in the country, except for individuals holding Hajj permits, residents with permits issued by Mecca, and workers in Mecca with special authorization. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli extended his warm congratulations to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the 43rd anniversary of Sinai Liberation Day, marking Egypt's reclaiming of the Sinai Peninsula. In a message shared on behalf of the government and himself, Madbouli praised the enduring significance of the day, recalling the heroic sacrifices made during the October War that led to the liberation of the land. He highlighted President Sisi's continuous directives to accelerate infrastructure projects, build new urban communities, and create employment opportunities in the region, aligning with the broader national strategy for Sinai's transformation. Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat met with Jefferies Group and a wide array of international investors to present the latest developments in Egyptian economy. During her participation in the 2025 IMF World Bank Spring Meetings on April 24th, Al-Mashat outlined the outcome of Egypt's ongoing economic and structural reform program launched in March 2024, emphasizing improvements in key macroeconomic indicators such as growth and inflation. She underscored President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's directives aimed at encouraging investment by reducing costs for the private sector, including efforts to standardize taxes and fees for investors, a move intended to create a more business-friendly environment and eliminate previous burdens on investors. On Friday, April 25th, Egypt will reintroduce daylight saving time, setting clock forward by 1 hour at midnight. The move aims to reduce energy consumption, with the cabinet claiming a 10% savings. The initiative also seeks to reduce Egypt's reliance on fuel imports, a significant burden on the economy and foreign reserves, especially amid regional crises. Egypt observes daylight saving time annually from the last Friday in April until the final Thursday in October, as per a 2023 law. The Ministry of Health and Population announced that 35,082 citizens have been screened as part of the lung health initiative at the initiative's clinics spread across Egypt. This comes as part of the ministry's commitment to improving services provided through the Lung Health Initiative, which was launched in November 2022. The ministry confirmed that the new clinics have been equipped with devices for measuring respiratory functions to enable early detection of chronic diseases such as asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and lung cancer. Well, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. President Sisi offers condolences to Indian Prime Minister and condemns terrorism following Kashmir attack. Egypt and Italy discuss Gaza ceasefire and humanitarian aid. And Egypt condemns terrorist attack on tourists in India's Kashmir. On that, so for now, remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.